Nio, with the ticker symbol of NIO. This video I'm going to have a look at the financial side of Nio. If you haven't seen my video where I looked at the business side of it, then I would recommend you check that out. It will be linked in the description down below. In this video though, it's all about the money. Sitting around $42 per share with a market cap of $69.5 billion, an earnings per share of negative 88 cents, 52-week range of $12.54 to $67, and a massive average volume. In fact, the average volume is almost 60 million a day, which is quite a lot. Looking at the graph over the past day, it's in the red. 5 days it's in the red, 1 month it's in the red, 6 months it's in the red, 1 year it's in the green, 5 years it is definitely in the green. Here we have the 20F form, which will give us the annual revenue for the past few years, giving you that kind of big picture revenue. So looking at the total revenue for 2020 in US dollars was 2.49 billion, and subtracting all the costs, their gross profit was 287 million. Oh, now this is quite hard. Looking at the net loss for 2020 was 812.8 million. That is quite a lot of loss. Looking at their balance sheet, I know this isn't the most up to date, but they have about 6 billion in cash and cash equivalents. And to be fair to them, they do have like 8 billion in, well, assets and 3.5 billion in liabilities. So how does a company that is reporting losses of like 812 million for 2020 still afloat? Here are their quarterly earnings for Q2 of 2021. Now they do have some highlights, so if you don't want to have a look at this, I will link it down in the description down below. But I'm going to have a look and skip to their revenue. Looking at their total revenue, you can actually see that it has actually gone up. So bear in mind, if it's not specifically US dollars, it's renminbi. And this is in thousands. So looking at the quarter for last year, they had 3.7 billion renminbi. And in 2021, they had 8.4 billion for this quarter, which made up to around 1.3 billion in US dollars. Looking at the gross profit on that, came to around 243.7 million. Now when we come down, their net loss still added up to around 90 million. Looking at the balance sheet for June 30th, 2021, they have 2.69 billion in cash and cash equivalents. Total assets around 8.4 billion. With total liabilities to around 3.4 billion. I will point out one thing, and probably my most disliked point about Nio is the fact that they have so many shares. Like, they have 1.5 billion shares, which is just incredible. In fact, if you go on to Yahoo Finance or pretty much anything that can tell you about the stocks, you will see that they have, in terms of shares outstanding, 1.64 billion. Now, everybody kind of talks about Nio and it says it is the future and it's the next big thing. It's going to be just as big as Tesla and the stock is going to shoot up to like 500 per share. But please bear in mind what you're actually getting for every share in Nio you purchase. You are getting one of like 1.5 billion of that company. So your stake is so small that that company would need to have a net profit of 1.64 billion for you to even be entitled to $1 of that. And that's profit. That is just an incredible kind of concept and idea when you think about it. Always bear in mind, the point of investing in a company is investing in the company. And what I hear quite a lot, and what you hear quite a lot when it comes to Nio, is people have this expectation that Nio will become the next big thing. And like it could increase in value, but in terms of the increase in value coming from the actual company doing really well, it's not really that likely. Now, I could be wrong and I could get this all completely wrong, but from the stats and what the numbers show you, it's not going that great. In terms of the idea, I like the idea, but the problem is that electric vehicles and the electric vehicle market is, although still quite new and still quite young, eventually it's not going to be. And eventually every car manufacturer is going to have electric vehicles. And it's not going to be about who is there first. It's going to be about who makes the best electric vehicles. And the people who are really going to profit from electric vehicles is the battery manufacturer, the power station manufacturer, the automated vehicle driving software manufacturer, and the energy companies. Because those are the ones that can pretty much drive the market. And if they are the best provider or the best solution provider, they're not going to limit themselves to selling to just one electric vehicle manufacturer. So yes, in terms of my perspective on Nio, it seems to be a losing bet. And I know I probably will get quite a bit of hate for that comment, but I would rather you knew what you were buying and not get caught up on the hype of what everyone is telling you. And as always, please bear in mind that none of this is meant to come across as investing advice. Please do extensive research before you buy any company and never invest more than what you're willing to lose. Saying that, if you have enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you hit that like button. But that brings us to the end. I do hope you have found this informative. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.